Hello my beadies, Gina here with another tutorial on how to dip your paper beads. I do have a video already out. It's a little older. You can find it back in my video section, but I actually kind of updated it since I've done that through trial and error. You know, we kind of tweak things, and I found a little bit better process. So here it is. All right, let's get started. What you're going to need is your PC Petrifier. You can grab this at any Home Depot, any craft store. Now at Home Depot, I usually buy by the gallons, so that's where I get it at Home Depot. Then I have my Minwax, which is the polyacrylic. This you can purchase at Walmart, which I did. You can also get it on Amazon, but it's the water base. You don't want any oil or anything. This is a great polyacrylic glaze because it doesn't irritate the skin. And most of all my products here are water based. And I think that's really important, especially if you're going to create some jewelry and you don't want it to have any odor of any kind. So this is a really nice safe way to do it. Now my previous video I would dilute the polyacrylic, whereas I now found out I really don't have to. I mean, you can still do that, but you don't have to. And this is how you do it. So let me start. You can even, I'm going to show you another technique on how to brush it on, which is probably a little bit easier. So let me grab, now these were all already dipped in PC Petrifier, but I'm going to reenact it so you can see. Let me grab one of these on here. I'm going to just grab this one. All right, so here is the one. Now, when you want to dip multiple beads, what you're going to do is you're going to get some fishing wire. And I also have this in another video on how to string it. I think it was way back a year ago. It's in the video area, so you can find that. You're just going to want to string it on this fishing wire. Then you're going to get some of your PC Petrifier, and I'm going to show you how I got a container. These are just old containers that I've kept, and I poured some into here. Now, although this has already been dipped, I'm going to show you just a reenactment of it. You want to make sure that depending on even the size of the bead, if it's really tiny, you don't want to keep dipping in there because this is a wood hardener. And what happens when you harden wood, it shrinks up. And this paper, of course, will shrink up. So my recommendation is, and this is just me, I just dip one time. If you want to dip several times, that's fine. But I'm just giving you what I've learned, that it will shrink up. So I just usually just put it in there and swirl it around. And then what I do is I just kind of tap it along the container. And then I go ahead and hang it up. Now I usually use these. This is really kind of, you can use on anything, but this is a shower curtain hanger, and I only do one at a time, so it's not like I have a ton on them. So it's just on this one loop. So we're just going to get one of them and then just hang it up. Let it dry either overnight. I would keep checking on it, like after 2 hours, go and check on it. Once you've checked on it, it's going to be all hardened, so you're going to break it apart and just keep breaking it apart. That is really the big trick so it doesn't get all gooped up in the middle of that. So you want to make sure that you check on it after 2 hours. And if you want to, you can go ahead and dip it in again, and the more dips that you use, the more shinier it will get. Now, a lot of people that I know, they use just PC Petrifier for glazing, which is fine. But if that's not the look you want to achieve, I would just recommend one dip. Once it's dried, you're going to pour in Minwax. So once you pour it in there, it's just the same exact way. Let's say that's the Minwax, and you're just going to pour it in there to that much, just I guess maybe 2 cups full. You're going to grab your beads again. You're going to dip them in there, and you're going to keep that in there and swoosh it all around. The most important thing is the residue that's left on there, you want to just tap it on the side of the container. That allows it to tap off all the ones that create bubbles. And when you have bubbles, it's going to create that pull. It's going to pull up in the middle of your, or the center of the hole. So you want to prevent that. So just tapping is fine. Same thing, you're going to hang this up. Hang it for overnight. With polyacrylic, I recommend overnight. Once that's done, you're going to go back to it the next day and you're going to break them up. Okay? Once you've broken them up, if you want more shine to it, re-dip it inside the container that you use for Minwax. Tap it and hang it. And do that several times until you achieve the gloss that you want. Now, if you want to get a little fancy, I would place this. I usually have like a nail on my table, and it allows me to put that hook in there. And this is what I usually do. I will hold it straight like this. I don't have it here, but I'm going to see if I can try to get this in there like that. So imagine it holding it like that. There's a little nail in the table, and you have it holding. You're going to pull your string of beads, and you can even do it this way. Get the Minwax and then just brush it on. I also have another video on this as well. But this is what is another way you can do it. And you can just keep brushing, get a larger brush or whatever you like, and just brush on the Minwax instead of dipping it. This allows it so it doesn't get in between each of the holes and things like that. Now, a lot of people ask me, would you use seed beads? I used to use seed beads in between them, but I found that I really didn't need it. As long as I kept maintaining breaking them in between each time and keeping an eye on them, it prevented it from pulling up. Now, if you have larger holes, let's say if this was a larger hole, you might have to use a large bead in between. Let me get in the camera there. But I don't usually do that anymore. I just keep it the way it is because it really doesn't get stuck. But this is a good way too. And once you've painted on the Minwax, you can just go ahead and hang it up. And then once that's dry, it's done. But that's another way of doing it. A lot of times I get the questions, how do I prevent it from not, pulling in the holes? And that's just breaking them in between each dip and just keeping an eye on them. That's pretty much it. So there we go. We have how to dip. Now, I know a lot of you have asked me, what about the UV resin? Can we do the same thing? I have tried it, but it took a really long time to paint on each one while it was on the same string. It really didn't work out very well. So if you find a way that you can do it, I would love to hear from you. But again, that's how we use the dipping method. I would love to hear your comments below. How do you dip your beads? If you do dip them, what is your advice on dipping? And any comments that you have, I would love to hear from you. I also invite you to my paper bead group. It's on Facebook, and it's really exciting because we get to share all ideas and everything like that. So it's fun. So I invite you to Paper Beads Born Pretty group. I want to thank you for supporting my small channel. If you like this, please subscribe and like it. It will allow me to create more content like it. And thank you again. So don't stop creating.